Hey folks, welcome back to Stranded Survivors. My name is Matt. I'm one of your co-hosts.
And my name is Jericho. I'm a host of the Stranded Survivors podcast. Matt, how are you doing? What have you been up to?
Dude, I am so good. Things are going great. Just had a fantastic Thanksgiving week for everyone who's in America. You guys know Thanksgiving full well. It was a good week. And with Ark Survival Ascended coming out, I have been spending a lot of nights in the Ark. I've been accomplishing a lot. Not as much as my tribe mates maybe, but it's been a lot of fun. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. But what about you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Honestly, like you said, it's been Thanksgiving. I did work a little bit for Thanksgiving. I worked Thursday, Friday, and I worked a little bit Saturday. But I mean, it was just pretty much, I'd say, a half a day. But other than that, man, I've been working, hanging out with family, and I've also been playing a lot of ASA, man.
Dude. So, okay, tell me, what are your first impressions? What are your thoughts?
So I'm a little cheapskate, right? So I got the Series S
Oof.
for the Xbox. So overall, honestly, the game is nice. I do enjoy the game overall. One, a lot of lag, of course. We always do that. That's a normal thing. Two, I'm a little upset because the graphics I think, are absolutely atrocious on the Series S. And I know there's a lot of people saying, "Oh no, it's your computer or whatever, the screen you're using." I'm telling you, it's not the screen I use. I'm just fine. It's just a Series S, and I have no money to buy a Series X. But other than the graphics, it is very fun to play the game, and there's a lot of just different, even just different things, reliving the experience that I used to relive.
Graphically, what kind of yeah, reliving the experience is amazing. It feels like a fresh game. It feels like you're playing it again for the first time, which is fantastic. But I mean, graphically, I'm sad to hear that because I've had the opposite experience with the Series X. So I mean, graphically, what are you seeing from the Series S that you're not impressed with?
Man, everything's just all like super. What is it, like super pixelated at times? Like sometimes I feel like I'm playing in a cartoon at certain times throughout the game. Other times, the game looks absolutely amazing. It's just certain times in the game it's like super pixelated and just not fun to play when it's pixelated. Or like a couple of times I've lagged out. I was fighting an RG trying to kill RGs to get another higher level spawn. Man, I just lagged out of the game.
Were you like near a base or anything like that, or was it just like the game frame rate dropped so bad it couldn't handle it anymore, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I was like semi close to my base, but you couldn't even load in the gates yet. So it didn't even matter. It's just it randomly dropped on me.
Oof, man. When you're seeing like these rough textures you're talking about and like the graphics just being all clunky and icky, are they like reminiscent of Survival Evolved? Are they worse? Are they like still slightly better even though they're not what you expected? I mean, like, help me understand here, I guess.
I'm telling you, I would rather have survival evolved graphics with the graphics that I'm playing on.
Really?
I'm dead serious.
Wow, go figure. Okay. That's really sad to hear because on the Series X, I'm having the exact opposite experience. Um, I'm sure you've seen the pictures that I've shared to our Discord, but I'm getting like fantastic imagery. I'm getting beautiful sunsets. I'm getting the northern lights look fantastic. I mean, sure, the sand and the dirt and rocks and stuff look a little clunky, but I mean, if you don't take that into consideration, I mean, spent 10 minutes playing in the water for Christ's sake. It's absolutely beautiful.
And so I don't know if you've really messed with settings much, right? But if you mess with your settings, like you did you know you can open console commands inside the game or no?
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, you can open your console commands. All you got to do is go and there's a setting and you just click console or whatever on. And you know that you can get rid of in your console commands. You can do it like on an official server. If you can get rid of it and you can get rid of fog and clouds and it makes your like game run so much smoother and a lot less lag.
Ooh, see, I'll probably take advantage of that to get rid of the fog. We almost lost a Quetzal that we were trying to tame last night because of the fog. We lost it anyway, but that's a whole story for another what if. But we almost lost it because of the fog. So, I mean, I'll probably take advantage of that to get rid of the fog. That ticks me off. But I personally like the clouds. I mean, they may add a little bit of frame drop, but I think that it adds so much aesthetics that it's totally worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, if it ran well enough, I'd keep the clouds also. But the fog 100% you got to get rid of. Like, honestly, once you get rid of the fog, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this game's graphics are 10 times better. Like, that's the only way I can play the game is without fog now.
Man, after we get done recording tonight, that's probably going to be the first thing I do when I sign in is go mess with the settings and try to get rid of the fog and see what else I can, try to make it a little bit prettier.
Well, we'll make it quick here, and when I get, I'll try to hop on really quick before I go to bed and tell you the command, and I just want to get your reaction because I think it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. I would love that. Um, Man, speaking of getting into the Ark, like graphically, sure, you're not having the same experience that I am, but as far as enjoying the game goes, what has your tribe accomplished? What have you done personally that you're proud of? Like, what are you guys looking like after the 5 days that you've been in there?
So, yeah, we've been in there about 5 days now. So the game came out. I was at work, and I had stuff to do. It was like my most busy day. I didn't get on a lot day one. In the next few days, I've been getting on here, aimed a Pteranodon, and so what did some grinding. Um, Overall, our base is crazy right now.
Why?
Sorry. Uh, so our base is looking amazing because, dude, I think I told you the other day I had about 50 people in my tribe, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was playing this afternoon. And how many people do you think are in my tribe now?
Let's see. If you had 50, I would like to think it can't possibly be much more, so I'm gonna say 55.
Now have 88 people in our tribe.
That's beyond the server cap. You can't even hold your whole tribe on the server.
No, and it's the craziest thing I've ever been a part of on a PvP server is the fact that I have 88 people and we can cap the server. We've already been on a few raids anyways. We I know you're not going to like to hear this. A lot of people in this episode are not going to like to hear this,
Oh God.
but we are rude, we are ruthless, and we are blocking off any single thing we can. Nobody can get any of the explorer nodes to level up because we're going to block them off. We've blocked off almost every single cave on the whole island map with our allies, so then nobody can join our server. Our server is never full because we kill all the beach bobs and we never let them live. If we find their base, they die.
Oh God.
Um, so anything that's not our allies, we instantly kill. They're dead. We're complete savages. But overall, we have a bunch of dinos. We have a bunch of pteranodons. We have rhinos. We've run boss fights already. We have tech teleporters. We have tech turrets. Tech everything pretty much that we can. Uh, we we have a bunch of Quetzals. We have some Gigos, Karches. Overall, there's just a lot of stuff. Like we're really progressing very well. For I mean, granted, 88 people. I would hope we progress very well.
Right.
But overall, the group is very organized. Like, like we have signs up that says, hey, we need a metal run. These are the tames we need tamed today. And it gets done, and the board has to be updated like every hour or 30 minutes, like because people are just doing what everything they need to do.
That's awesome, man. So like everyone's working together, everyone's getting along. That's pretty tough to do with that many people. So it's nice to hear that you guys have that cohesion and that organization. I bet that makes your life a whole lot easier.
It does make it a lot easier, to be honest. I will say that there has been a couple instances people stealing stuff from people and people getting a little frustrated.
Ooh, what went missing? Fill me in on the tea.
So I don't know what all went missing. All I know is that in the Discord that I'm in, somebody posted, I don't know who took this person's stuff, but once I find it, I'm going to kill you repeatedly, no matter whenever you're on or off.
There is pure rage.
Yeah. I got my stuff taken a couple times, but honestly, I didn't have enough that I cared, so.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you just have basic supplies, I mean, whatever. It's not like you can't just remake it. But once you, like we had talked about before, once you get those fancy supplies, once you go caving and stuff like that, and after you've hit these boss fights, I mean, you're gonna get attached to your stuff. So I'd be pretty ticked too if somebody came in and took all my crap.
Yeah, and I fully do understand that. But overall, we just started doing boss fights. I haven't even done a boss fight yet because I haven't had the opportunity because of how many other tribe members we have. Um, Leveling up, not really fast to be honest. Honestly, I've spent a lot of my time. Hopefully, none of my tribe mates listen to this, but I've spent a lot of my time going around looking, trying to tame an RG. Because to be honest with you, I have no want or will to breed an RG at this point. One, because it might die, and two, because they just take so long. I'm not trying to wait like 3 days, 2, 3 days for an RG.
Good lord, I would rather wait 2 or 3 days at the base where I can do other things than instead of waiting 6 or 7 hours out in the wilderness. Don't know, ticks me off.
Yeah. So other than that, though, man, I will say I just want to say this: it's been hard trying to find dinos that are higher level on the island. Is crazy absurd, and it's very hard. I don't know what your experience has been with that.
Dude, for real. We haven't, I think we found a couple, like, 140s, 145s, but I don't know if I've seen a 150, and if I have, it's only been a couple. Like, there are not very many perfect tames out there.
Honestly, though, I don't know what your experience has been in the dino game here, but I've not. I've seen a lot less dinos on the map.
Um, it depends on the species, I guess. I've seen what I feel like is more Brontos. I've seen a lot more Combies, more Raptors, I feel like. But I've seen a lot less beavers. There's like
Yeah.
virtually no beaver spawns on my map because people are lovable little beach bobs and love to place useless foundations all over the beaver spawns. So like those types of things are tough to come by, but we got theories coming out our ears and all sorts of neat stuff. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're looking for. As far as carnivores go, yeah, they're pretty scarce unless you want to go to Carno Island, and it's not really my preferred place to be at this point. I don't really have the level for that.
I'm gonna say that it is my preferred place because that's where we're building our base.
What?
Yeah, we're building our base on the island there, and then in the cave. So it'd be pretty hard to get to. We have a little, crafting station on top of a hill and different things like that and whatever. But we are going to be building in Carno, and that's going to be our main base.
Okay, okay. You guys are, I mean, seemingly pretty equipped for that, so I'm not going to judge you guys if you've got all your tech stuff set up and you guys are very easily able to defend yourself. But for where I'm at currently with our tribe, it sounds miserable to be there.
Yeah. So Matt, honestly, you've been playing some PVE official, right? You've been playing with a couple people. Like, what is your tribe looking like? Who's your tribe mates? How's that been going? How's just overall your graphics, just everything? How has it been going?
Dude, so graphically, absolutely beautiful. If you guys have not joined our Discord yet, or if you have not seen any of the screenshots that I've posted, feel free to head over to in our Discord. There's a channel for like in-game footage, and I've gotten a few screenshots, video, maybe a video or two posted. If not, I'll post the videos that I've taken. But the graphics are absolutely beautiful. The water's fantastic. The foliage is fantastic. The texture on the Argents, absolutely beautiful. The Argents are probably the most beautiful creature that I've
Really?
seen in the game so far. Really the feathers, period. Because I mean, dodos look pretty good too, in my opinion. Not gonna lie to you.
Okay,
Um,
so I got a question really quick though. Have you seen a baby Argentavis yet?
Not in person. No, I've seen a lot of the babies that spawn in the area of our base, but I have not come across a baby Argent yet.
Okay, because they portrayed it, and I've not seen one either. So I'm just making sure. If anybody's seen a baby RG yet out in the wild, please take a picture and send it to me.
The flying ones are really tough to find because I've never seen a baby pteranodon yet either.
Yeah, me either.
But I've seen like, man, I don't know how I came across it, but yesterday I found two baby trodons. Those little suckers were the
What?
size of like a pebble.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think I found a couple baby compies. Those are very tiny as well.
Man,
Um, I prefer to tame the babies. Like I brought home a 140 baby trike, I think,
what?
that I brought home.
No.
We've got, I think we had like a 141 baby stego that we brought home or something. Maybe they tamed the stego. I can't remember that. That was QC Survivor.
My gosh, that's pretty awesome, man. Honestly, I've not found any high level babies yet. They've all been like level 15.
Most of them are pretty low level, yeah, but every now and then you get lucky, and I feel pretty darn obligated when I find the high level ones to at least claim it, and that way I have the time to sit there and think about it long term. You know what I mean? Um, but we started off in like South Zone 2, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And we were little beach bobs living right on the river there, but it was super crowded. We didn't have a whole lot of area. We just weren't digging that spot. and I'm trying to pull up. I'm pulling up our map here, and I'm trying to figure out what the name of the section is. It's killing me that I can't remember it. It's just south of Smuggler's Pass, the Eastern Plains. We're on the edge of like Smuggler's Pass and the Eastern Plains, and I really like that area. We
Yeah.
just started building there today. I've got, let's see, there's 5 of us now. So, I mean, we're nowhere near you guys, but it's 5 people from our Discord. So it's super, super cool being able to, it's Cal, Fatsabar, Joe Daddy, and QC Survivor. And then
Okay.
me, of course. And man, they may tell you that I'm leading the tribe, but I tell you what, man, QC Survivor, that dude is a total workhorse.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude's a tank. Absolute monster in the game. And Kelvin's not far behind him, so Steven and I are trying to keep up as far as helping with tames. We took down, I don't remember what level it is, but we got a Diplodocus, we got a Rex, we've got like 3 Therazinos that are pretty decent level. Um, Stegos, Dodos, Anki, would just be your basic work stuff that we're gonna
Yeah.
start transitioning over to our new base now. Um, and see, PVE, we don't have all the drama with the raids. We don't have the drama with the slaughter of beach bobs and having to protect ourselves and hide our bases in caves and crap. But we have been having so much drama on our server. Oh my goodness.
Really? Like what?
So first off, it's a European server, so like the time zones are wonky for Stephen, Kelvin, and I guess QC Survivor as well. We're all Eastern time zone,
Okay.
so it's like really really busy throughout the day. So if you try to play like noon to 5 p.m. our time, good luck getting in the server in the first place.
Really?
Yeah, today I think it was Calvin and QC ended up queuing for like 2 hours or something like that, and then they had to queue for 2 hours or plus yesterday as well to get in the game during the afternoon.
Oh my.
And everybody that I've interacted with have been super cool, but I also, keep my nose out of people's business, and I am social but not too social, so I don't really tick anybody off. But we had one of our tribe mates was trying to shoot, I think he was trying to collect prime meat or something like that, and then went to go tame a baby. I'm confused about the specifics, but long story short, a baby was stolen from him. Like right as we killed the
No.
parent, the baby was claimed, and it was some poop. So
No
we
way.
can't. Yeah, and we can't attack you. We can't go in and like kill it out of spite and stuff just to
Oh.
be that type of person. So our tribe mate here had a fantastic genius idea to take the Diplodocus and park it right outside their base so that swishing tail is cutting through their entire base, and probably made it a real pain in the absolute butt for 2 or 3 days to do anything in their base.
That is absolutely hilarious, and that is some pretty good comedy there.
And then that happened again to somebody else. They had a baby stolen from them. It turned into like this big ordeal. One person put like 120 arrows into a giga, and then somebody came up and apparently did something to finish it off and ended up getting the tame because of it, because they were like, they came in and stole it at the last minute. So that was like a huge ordeal where the first group was demanding their supplies back, the second group was all butthurt about like, we got it fair and square, and the whole server was
Wow.
getting in on it for a while. I tried to urge them to declare war, but nobody wanted to listen.
Declare war. Say, hey, Wildcard, can you change this to a PvP server, please?
I mean, I don't know. Somebody had made the comment that declaring war was an option, so I don't know if PvE, it used to have the declare war option, and I don't know if that's a thing now. I guess I need to go look at it here in a minute when I get back on.
No.
But it genuinely used to be a thing where you could declare war on another tribe, they could accept it, and then you guys, those 2 tribes specifically, were actively PvP for the duration of the war.
No. Are you serious? That would actually
Yeah.
probably make me play PvP or PvE.
Alliances could get involved too. So if your tribe was an ally with my tribe and then you declared war, that would have allowed our tribe to go in and attack at one point, if my memory serves me correctly.
Wow. If that's a thing, that'd be pretty cool. Honestly, anybody, if you guys know, let us know in the Discord.
Yeah, I'll double check again tonight, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but that definitely used to be a thing when the game like first came out.
Yeah, that's cool.
But let's see, a lot of drama with people fighting over like laying down foundations over beaver spawns and
Of
stuff because we
course.
can't destroy them. We can't do anything about it. So if you decide to be a jerk and lay a wall and a foundation down, then that area is ruined until you destroy it or it like decays pretty much.
Wow, that's kind of crazy though.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a struggle to find anywhere to build because people were doing the same thing you guys were of pillaring off like spawn points and stuff, trying to prevent people from building in the beach bob areas, making it inhospitable for newcomers. But I mean, adapt and overcome. We've got QC Survivor, the workhorse here, and he has pretty much set us up with most of our tames. Um, Gosh, he's too humble to share stuff like that probably, but I will share the picture he sent us of like the beginnings of the base that he's building over there, and it's
Hmm.
absolutely fantastic. He's got this really cool like circular design to it with like a glass row in it, and it looks really really pretty.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, you'll definitely have to send that.
Yeah. So I mean, PVE is a totally different animal than PvP, and
Hmm.
the things that we're able to, enjoy. Like, I'm sure having a glass section of your base out in the open sounds absolutely miserable and terrifying to
Yep.
you, but it looks beautiful to us and we're here for it. It gives you a beautiful view while you're crafting and you've got nothing to worry about. So, I mean, I want to talk today a little bit about PvP versus PvE and what other kind of differences you've noticed in Survival Ascended compared to PvP and Survival Evolved. And I just want to compare and contrast real quick and like get some of that out because there's a great big divide. We had the Adams Family Gaming in our Discord recommend that we do an episode on this. And I mean, he's got a great point that there is a huge divide between the two communities. And I sort of want to try to figure out why.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like an idea to me, man.
So, start off, I mean, from the beginning, I guess. When you first spawn into a PvP world, what what is your first thing? What are you spending your first 2 hours in game trying to do in PvP?
So I mean, so what we did for our tribe was we wanted our no location, right? So we fought for the whole first day trying to get that location back. And then we realized, man, we just wasted everything we had. We didn't even have really anything set up. We had a small little crafting base, nothing crazy though. So we gave it up. Okay. So, but either way, we spammed everything down, tried to get a thing. So that's what we did. And it didn't work. So we just then went and built a crafting base slash a little base. And when we built those bases, then we built up to get our spot back, and then spammed everything so then nobody could get through. So I'd say for the first day or so, we spammed. Then we wanted to tame pteranodons so we can have flyers, PvP against people, and have a little bit of an advantage. So always make sure as a PvP kit, you got to make sure you have your normal pickaxe, you need a spyglass, you need a hatchet, you need bullas, parachutes for sure. And if you have them, if you're unlocked, you need some grapples. I would say those are like the main things you need, for a PvP kit. And then overall, we did that. We tamed pteranodons. Then, kind of our next thing after taming pteranodons was we went to go tame some RGs because in the RGs, can pick up bigger and better things to help you progress. So, after we tamed the RGs, we looked for ankylos and dodics to kind of start grinding, level up. But I have to backtrack just a tiny bit here. First thing we did was go on a note run. Make sure you guys look that up on YouTube. That levels you up so quick. Like everyone pretty much was level 70, like right away within the first hour because
Holy crap.
um, the note run was the first thing we initially did. And
That
then
makes
all that
sense.
stuff. And then, so then we unlocked, we did that. We got the Anki, got the Dodic. Then the next biggest thing was Quetzal. Get the Quetzal so you can put the Anki on it and just farm, 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 farm flint, farm whatever you need for that. And then let me see, man. So after that, we got all that. Then we started looking for stuff, anything high level, pretty much, right? Except we were mainly targeting rhinos, rexes, because we wanted to get into the boss fight right away. That was one of the main things we targeted.
Okay.
Um, and then so we did that. So now like I said, we've completed a bunch of boss fights. Now we got the turrets, got everything like that. So it's really just grinding, getting those animals, getting those resources, knowing what base location. When you go in the map, you're like, this is the base location I want. So to run down everything that I kind of talked about here, because I was kind of all over the place there. PvP, what you want to do is you want to start with a note run. You want to make sure you know what base location you're going to. Go to that base location. And then next thing you want to do is get a Pteranodon to start flying around and getting metal or so you can start a refining forge and stuff like that. And then after you have all that set up and a little base set up, then you want to tame an RG. Because RGs they're like pretty much warbirds. They can pick up anything and they're a lot harder to kill than a Pteranodon. And then after that, you want your Ankies, you want your Dodics, be able to farm because those are your farming dinosaurs. And then after those, the next dinosaurs that I would start looking towards would be, the woolly rhinos and different things that can get you into boss fights.
Okay. I mean, that all sounds very, very similar to how you're going to start in PvE. So, I mean, the Great Divide may not be so great after all.
Yeah.
So, when you're starting in PvP, I mean, same thing really. First off, you want to know where you're going to build. If you've never played the map before, you need to do your research, come in with a plan and a backup plan and a backup plan. And to be honest with you, we aren't too fixated in the PvE world about finding your permanent base and securing that location that we really, really want right off the bat. Finding a little satellite base just anywhere convenient to build and stockpile supplies is really primary motive number one here. So right off the bat, we found an open spot on the beach right next to a bunch of resources, right next to a spawn point. So worst case scenario, if you can't get a bed down, you've at least got, a 30% chance of a random spawn being next to your base. Once you get that down, a couple storage boxes for supplies, really a berry gatherer. You got to get a parasaur, a trike, a stego, something that's going to be able to be easily tameable and gather large amount of berries for you, because it's not easy gathering those narco berries right off the bat,
Yeah, I definitely miss that. So, good reminder, you can also do that in PvP. But go ahead.
Yeah. And I mean, the note run is not a huge ordeal, because I mean, you're not crafting weapons right off the bat. You're not crafting this hardcore armor right off the bat. You're not rushing for anything specific. So I mean, a note run and levels right off the bat are not a must do for PvE, but it wouldn't hurt, It never hurts to have those saddles available and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, you're not pushing for, the turrets right away. Like, we're pushing for the heavy turrets right away. You guys are really not pushing for that.
No, man, to be honest with you, I could care less if I ever have turrets at my base, because a wall of dinosaur gates will do anything and everything that you could possibly ever need to protect in PvE.
Yeah, so you can actually, but you can put up turrets in PvE, correct?
Absolutely, yeah, but I mean, it's expensive to maintain the bullets, and if they can't get through your metal behemoth gates, there's really no point. You're not defending against anything. There's no wyverns that are going to come burn the roof off. There's no titans or gigas that are going to be able to, mantle over a gate or anything like that. So really, there's nothing that you have to set up turrets for. It's just a convenience thing.
That's cool. I didn't even know, honestly, that you could still set up turrets in PvE.
Yeah, 100%. They just can't be, they can't target other people. They can't target tames and stuff like that. They just can target wild dinos.
Huh.
Which, I mean, why? You know what I mean? Sure, once again, convenience. Sure, if you're in a crappy area, whatever. But, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Protecting from, Argent attacks is, the only thing I could think of.
I mean, that's fair, to be honest, but you could really just use plant axe or something if you need to.
Absolutely. And really the first week or so is just a slog for gathering resources, because you are trying to build your permanent base, not in an easily defendable area necessarily, not in a cave that's well hidden and off the beaten path. You're trying to build somewhere that's very close to supplies. You're trying to build somewhere that's convenient to trade, to get to and from obelisks and boss fights, to be strategically placed between numerous rare resources. It's all just a gathering game, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's fully understandable, though. You always need to be able to grind. Even in PvP, man, the grind that you have to do is absurd. I can't play anywhere near as much as I used to, but, the amount of grinding that these people do in my tribe is crazy. Grinding is so important in the game. What would be your first items that you're resources that you're going for right away?
Right off the bat, I am gonna think small because I know like I was being tricked into like, oh, I need a refining forge and an industrial forge, but like thinking small. To be honest with you, day one, as soon as I get in, I want a bed and I want a smithy. Those are the two things I care about, and then I can get my metal tools. I can do everything by hand. Worst case scenario, so like a smithy is really my first hour I must have. What about you?
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing I feel like I'm going towards is at least a bolas and a bow, to be honest, so I can eventually trank some dinos, get some pteranodons. So really, a bola is one of the biggest parts in the PvE, like first starting. That and a torch. I don't remember if a torch lights you on fire in this game anymore, but I'd for sure say a bola and a bow.
So Ebola is very important for PvE also, but I think they're probably used differently.
Yeah, I definitely would assume so because I'm assuming that in PvE you use it for just the dino, and in PvP we normally just throw it at a player.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna craft me two or three clubs. I'm gonna chuck it at a pteranodon, and while it's panicking, I'm gonna whip out my whoop stick and I'm gonna beat it down.
Yes, yes, sir.
It's yeah, it's definitely great for taming small things. Not good for, don't try to use it on a Thursday. We learned that the hard way years ago. Um,
Yep.
but use it on those smaller tames. It's definitely going to help in your PvE game. You can't catch a pteranodon, bola that bad boy. Can't catch a parasaur, bola. Can't catch a trike, do not bola. Man. So I mean,
Oh.
the first honestly few days sounds pretty darn similar. So I'm going to go ahead and assume we're gathering, we're doing our grinding, we're getting our bases. We now have electricity, we've got fabricators, everything that PvE and PvP is going to rush because you need that crap. And
Yep.
then now what? You hit the mid game. What's your mid game plan for PvP?
So I would say mid game here for PvP is honestly, I don't know. I call this mid game. You got tech in mid game, to be honest.
Oof.
So tech for us is mid game because we're not at the end all be all here because we don't even have a full turret towers, right? So right now we're in the mid game, and what we do is we now have tech teleporters, and we're making tech teleporters right next to a metal mountain, like the biggest metal spawn on all the island. And then all we got to do is transfer our dinos over there, go on a quick metal run, get thousands of metal. Then we make it a 10 times easier metal run for ourselves. So really, a lot of it mid game here is boss fights. You do metal runs, and you want to build turrets, bullets, and pearl runs for your turrets.
So, man, there's the great divide. Here's the split. So, mid game is tech stuff and turrets, and like you're preparing for, war, it sounds like, in
Yep.
mid game.
Yep.
Wild. Yeah, man. It's very different. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like, I understand, the kill walls and having choke points and stuff like that, but an offensive war, very different than a defensive war. So, can you run me down on what an offensive war is going to look like?
Yeah. So for an offensive war, so if we're going on the offensive, normally what you do is you build kind of like you guys, you build gates. You have another base where you're going to attack. So like for example, the small raid we did the other day on the ice cave was we set up a little 2x2 or whatever 4x4, and what we did is we put turrets on top of that 4x4, and we had soakers, we had stegos, and really they only had auto turrets. So we had stegos, we had karches, we had quetzals, right? And so all those things can soak the bullets, especially auto turrets because they're really weak. And that's all we really did. We just brought a bunch of people, and that's all you need is you need enough to get flak. You want to have enough. You want to have enough items to bring for the RG, because you want to bring an RG because in the RG you can repair like your flak if your flak gets damaged. So you normally want to bring about 2 sets of flak to a raid, or it's like I said, C4 rockets, and that's all you need is you need soakers, a base to be able to spawn out of because you put a bed in there. and all you do is you spawn out of the bed every time you die.
So when you put a base there, like outside the base you're raiding, how far are you talking? Are you talking like a 30-second run? You talking like a 2-minute run? Like how far away? Because I'm picturing like that's gonna completely blow your cover, and you're not gonna be able to, you're gonna have no element of surprise once you throw up a base.
Yeah, so that's kind of point, right? Is like, so the closest that will be is as close as it will allow us to get. Because a lot of times people spam foundations, so the only time you can get is you have to go blow up those foundations and then build a base, or build your little fob is what they call it. And so you build your fob or whatever as close as you can. But yeah, there's really no element of surprise. The only surprise is when you have all your turrets and stuff up, and then the people were like, "Whoa, that's crazy." But there's really no surprise because most of the time you're already blowing up their foundations to be able to place your base, so they know you're coming. You have to be able to overpower them so they don't know what's coming.
Have you ever done like a stealth raid, or is that just not a thing really, for you at least?
I'd say it's very rare to do a stealth raid while people are online,
Okay,
so it's kind of cheap.
that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it would be really chaotic and really fun. I mean, I am all for seeing the, Series S potato footage that you can put out for raids because I think that would be cool as heck. Maybe I should just look into some raids on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, overall, I mean, I will try to post some stuff on the Discord. Like, yeah, I mean, I posted like 20 of us flying over to the base the other day that we were
Yep.
gonna raid. So I posted that and posted whatever. But I'll try to get some videos here for the Discord. So if you want to see those, make sure you go in the Discord and look at that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I have never done a raid before, so I find it very interesting to watch, from afar. Like those people that used to watch Civil War battles up on the hill. Man, when you're talking mid game for PvE, I feel like that's when you start to prepare for boss battles, but you don't necessarily dive into them and commit. This is when you're going to start finding your higher level Rexes and breeding out multiples of them to bring in and building the saddles, taming a good Uteranus. You're preparing for the boss battles, but in my opinion, mid game you're not quite there. You're building your permanent base. That's what we just talked about how last night we're breaking into the mid game. And for us that means we're building our permanent base. We're getting generators up, we're getting electricity, and we're working towards the industrial age stuff that a working functional base should have.
Hmm.
Like I said, you're working on those tames that you're going to need. You're improving the starter tames and the work tames that you have, making sure that whatever obstacle you're about to face, you're able to just jump on in and you have something and a plan for it. So, really, the mid game in PvE, in my opinion, is all preparation. This is where you get your ducks in a row, you count your eggs, you make sure everything's all set and good to go as you're breaking out into the end game here in the next week or two. Is there an end game for PvP? Let's be real. Is there an end game?
Honestly, that is a very good question. And I'd say so. The end game for me is my least favorite, and I would consider end game. You have all bosses ran. You have everything you need, tech, and you can raid. All you do is you defend your base. You raid people and defend your base, and you go on metal runs and you breed dinos. That's all you do. I mean, it's fun because you can go raid people, and like that's the whole fun part of it once you get set up in PvP. But then you also have to defend your base. So like when I used to play, used to be on Discord, and people would be like, "Yo, man, you got to get on right now." I was even so serious into Ark back in the day that I gave random people on Xbox my phone number,
That's so sketchy.
and I would literally have them call me in the middle of the night if we got raided, and I'd get up in the middle of the night and get on.
Are you serious? That's dedication.
Yeah, I was really dedicated back in the day. I never do that now. I just have them call me on Discord and stuff. But man, I used to be really dedicated.
I would say so. That's good though. That means you were ready. You were ready to defend the base. You were ready to be a good tribe mate. You were pulling your own weight. Proud of you
Yeah,
and your
man.
addictive personality.
Yes, exactly. So, like end game for PvE, right? Like what does that overall kind of look like for say like or like extra things that
So once you hit the end game of PvE, you have completed the boss fights. You are now preparing, like you've done the alphas, you know what I mean? You've gotten all of your artifacts lined up to just run boss fights when you feel like. You've got the dinos to just continue running them. But the end game of PvE is where my bread and butter thrives. That's when it's time for you to start breeding out mutations, colors, and stats. It's time for you to start working on your diplomacy and making alliances with other tribes to then share bloodlines for dinos, to share colors, to share boss battles that they'll be going into, to maybe work together going into a new map when it comes out. Like, this is the time for you to just enjoy the game. You have to go through this nasty evil grind at the beginning of the game, and that grind is so bad that it makes people want to not even play it. Like, Joe Daddy and I were talking about, like, the grind on official is such a pain in the butt, and we can talk about that here in a little bit when we get into official versus unofficial. But the grind on official is so daunting for some people that when you get into that early game, almost to the mid game, you hit that wall and you just sometimes can't push on anymore. And that's when people's bases will decay. That's when they give up because I'm not going to go through this grind again. And it becomes a whole thing. So in the end game, that's no longer a fear, and you now just get to enjoy the game. You can fly around looking at sites. You can see spots in the map you've never seen before. You can just go on a tour to, I'm going to go try to find a mutated Therizino and just go flying around doing your thing and just enjoying it, you know?
Yeah. Overall, man, I prefer the early game, right? And
Ugh.
man, the early game is amazing. I love taming everything, feeling very useful when you find the high level dinos, just everything like that, man. Early game is my favorite.
Dude, okay. Story time. So, I hate taming. I hate it. I hate it. Especially in the early game. And one of the first nights we were in the Ark, Joe Daddy and I got down a Therizino. I don't remember what level it was. It was a pretty decent level. We were very, very excited for it. Got it down. We struggled to craft the narcotics because, like, we didn't really have a good berry gatherer. So it was, like, a lot of hand picking and, like, struggling to make narcotics. And, like, we're making it as it's needed, trying to keep up with everything. And me being the hero that I am, I'm like, oh, just let me handle it. I'm gonna finish the tame. You go do stuff. Be productive. I'm just gonna sit here and I'll rot away watching it. I sit there for like an hour and 45 minutes. I get that bad boy up to like 97% taming effectiveness. I smash it with like 30 narcotics. I'm like, perfect. Here we go. We're good. And I look at TikTok.
No, what happened?
Yep. I looked at TikTok. I have no clue. Apparently lost track of time. Have no clue how long it was for, but apparently it was a lot longer than I thought it was.
Uh,
And I look up and I see a really, really mad Therizino sprinting at me across the river. And I say, oh, that's not good. I should probably kill it before it kills this tame. And I look down and there was no tame next to me.
are you serious?
Yup. So it stood up and it was ticked. It was ticked. It started like beating the crap out of absolutely everything in our base. So then everything starts panicking and the pteranodons are flying around. One of them goes like 2 miles up above in the air. The trikes are boogieing, running around. I got a baby that dipped off into the jungle, have no clue where it went, and just eventually died.
Oh
It was
my gosh.
pure unbridled chaos. Get everything back at base, get it all set up, and then like push the wrong button and punch a dimorphodon that's flying by, and all of a sudden the tames all start going ape crap again.
No.
Yeah, so after like an hour and a half of us trying to get everything situated, Joe Daddy is just like, all right, I'm irritated. I'm going to bed. I was like, you know what? That's a fantastic idea. And I went to bed too. And then when QC Survivor logged in the next morning, he's like, hey, there was a wild Therizino at the base that immediately started messing everything up. I was like, oh, no, no.
No.
He was like, it's
No.
okay. I killed it though. Don't worry. Like, oh, you're a legend. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
what a trooper, man.
It's fun. I mean, our chaos does not come through the raids. Our chaos comes through those moments where, like, I almost feel. I know it's not the case, but I feel like in PVE, the environment gets that little oomph to just mess with you a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because there's always something. It's always something.
That's fair.
Gosh. Well, do you think is there anything as far as you want to say for PvP to make sure everybody's got a good picture of it, or do you think that you have covered everything in the PvP realm that would substantiate a difference between the two?
No, honestly, I mean, I feel like we both had very good points. I mean, of course, there's always something you forget. It just always happens, I swear. So if I have any initial or afterthoughts, I'll put that on the Discord, man. And so if you guys aren't, just go to the Discord, and I'll have some of my thoughts on there that I totally probably blanked out on today. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, same thing. I guess to circle back around to Adam's family's question is that I think the great divide comes not in so much the early to mid game, but the actual entrance to mid game. In PvE, it's just such a slower transition, and you're able to take your time and be more methodical, plan things out. And in PvP, it sounds like there's a lot more pressure to rush and be the first person to accomplish everything. And I think that, in my opinion, that sense of urgency is what makes the difference between the two. So if you're the type of person that is like, oh yeah, I need to have a fire lit under my butt to make me perform at my peak, then PvP is definitely your realm. But if you are somebody who wants to, sleep on it for a night or two and take your time and just smell the flowers on the way by, then PvE is definitely your way to go.
Yeah, I agree.
PvE, PvP, that is, let me just stutter a little bit. That is a pretty straightforward difference. I feel like that's easier for us to lay out in a black and white way. But official versus unofficial, let's talk about that real quick. That's tougher because unofficial has so many different ways that it can be different that it's almost apples and oranges. Official is very cut and dry vanilla. This is what you're getting. And then unofficial, you got mods. You've got different taming rates, different harvest rates. You can have speed levels. You can have flyers in cave. You can level flyers. I mean, there's like so many different things that it's so hard to compare the two. Where do we even begin?
Yeah, so kind of, I wouldn't know. I don't know. Let's say this is kind of on the topic here, but something I want to figure out is I heard there's no PVE council servers only. So I just wanted to state that. Then the thing that I lost it, I don't know. So let's start with the overall on like drops, like how you can change drops, how there's mods, and now on even official now I just heard that there was official servers releasing that you can have mods on.
Yeah, we saw those in the server list the other day. It's an official modded island server. There were, I think, two of them maybe that I
Yeah,
saw for PvE.
that sounds pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if if it's an official modded server. I'm curious to see who is going to be. I'm assuming Wildcard would be the moderators of it. I'm assuming Wildcard would have all the control. So I mean, I'm curious to see how they're going to decide what mods to put on, how long they're going to run for, how they're going to cycle them. Like, is it going to be a content creator spotlight? My fear is that it's going to be. All right, I'm about to get in my soapbox here. My fear is that we're going to start seeing a microtransaction themed Ark marketplace because they came out. Did you see that thing with the golly, what is it? I forget what the name of it is, but there's some like creator contest going on with Overwolf that's been going on that like you get to create a mod, release it to the crossplay servers, and if it wins the contest, there's $350,000 in cash prizes that you can claim.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so I'm afraid that those modded official servers are just going to turn into a place where they're like, "Oh, check out Jericho 221's newest mod he came up with for 99 cents in the marketplace."
I could definitely, honestly, I definitely could see that. But from what I understand, anyways, and I could be wrong, from what I understand with these servers, is that you know how there's already like 200 mods in Survival Ascended right now?
Mhm.
That you can download those mods, right? Like, like a CryoPod mod, and then you should just be able to go play. I think I'm probably wrong now that you know what you said, but from what I was understanding is like I could download a CryoPod mod, and then I could just go play with the CryoPod mod on that server.
That sounds great and all, but then what if you're downloading cryopod mods and I'm not? Then you now have a disgusting advantage over me.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, you should still be able to download it. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I see what you're saying and it makes sense. The only argument that I have for it would be how would they keep that balanced? Because if I download a mod that allows me to upgrade my player level speed, I can run through a cave way faster than you and you will never beat me to a drop. You will never beat me to an artifact.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I can upgrade my my tame flyer speed and stuff like that, I'll be able to run circles around you doing anything. So if there's anything that would involve speed or getting there first, quote unquote, it could be very unfair. The S variant of dinos would make it extremely unfair if I've got an S Giga and you do not.
Yeah, but I just think the thing is 100% right with what you're saying. But I mean, everyone can download the same exact mods.
You're correct. You can. I think I just feel like it's a developer's responsibility to make a server have a black and white expectation for what players know is coming unless they can find a way to balance it so that other people's choices and their mods have absolutely no effect on my gameplay. You know what I mean? Like if everybody can hit drops and a drop doesn't despawn, and like for conversation, you can hit a drop once and withdraw all those items, and then I can hit a drop once and withdraw all those items, and then it will still stay there, but I can't hit it a second time, and neither can you. Like, I'm cool with that because then, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you get there first. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you have a stronger dino to clear it out before I get there.
No, I do agree with you that if you do have everyone being able to download different mods, not everyone's going to download the same one. Like, I agree. There needs to be a set form, a set expectation of what is going to happen.
That's why I feel like the play would be to have a moderator set it up for the week. Like, the month of November, we're doing the S plus mods, and then the month of December, we're doing, you know, Primal Fear. The
Yep.
month of January, we're doing the Dwarven Forge. Like, they would have to control it, I feel like.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Otherwise, it'd get really chaotic and ridiculous.
And arguably, that's what other unofficial servers do. I mean, whoever the moderator is going to control what mods are put on. They're going to control what events are there. They're going to control that stuff anyway. So, I mean, you might as well just, if it's an official wildcard modded server, you might as well have one wildcard choose for us, you know? Play your single player if you want to be able to have the free choice yourself, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, or you can play the, you know, non-dedicated, the unofficial servers. You can just pick whatever mod you want, like for certain maps, because everyone has one for something. So
Very true. And I think that mods are the obvious attraction to our conversation for unofficial servers. I think that your obvious magnetic pull is gonna be mods. That's your number one. Maps
yeah,
are gonna be number two, which I mean, really arguably are just a variant of mods. So mods are really still your number one and two thing that are pulling you in. I think your rates are going to be your next thing. That is something that we were complaining about in our official server. I think it's 1.5 times right now, if I heard correctly.
you're correct.
So, yeah, 1.5 times. That's awful. Even in Survival Evolved, the last few years, I feel like since COVID, we were looking at, what did we say in the last episode, like times three?
Yeah.
So you're looking at half. Everything is halved right now compared to what we were used to on Survival Evolved. So you're really looking at twice as hard, twice as long. Like, that is what this difficulty for official is at this point. So I think that's going to draw people away from official and towards the unofficial. But I mean, if you're here for the grind, you're here for it. You know what I mean? And if you're not, then unofficial is definitely for you. The people that only play on weekends, they only play a couple hours a day. Like, if I didn't have a tribe, then I would have to play unofficial. I could not keep up with official by myself. So for solo players, it's just way more feasible.
Oh yeah, definitely. Unofficial's definitely for solo players, and like there's even maps like that are specified solo, duo, trios. And like you said, it's for these people that maybe just want to play on the weekend that have like full time jobs and kids that don't have enough time to play this game. Definitely veer more towards unofficial, right? Unless you're in a big tribe like me, then you're able to get away with it on like official servers because you're like, oh, I can just bank off the back of my tribe. I don't have to really carry much weight other than on the weekends. Sometimes you need those weekend warriors to come help you out. That's when you do your raids on official, or that's when you just do a lot of your work on officials on the weekends.
Absolutely. If you look at your tribe like a company, that's when your overtime comes in. Your overtime employees are coming in for the weekend. They're going to help you with your grind. I mean, a lot of your quote unquote weekend warriors aren't going to have necessarily always have the confidence to jump in and be like, all right, I'm going to go tame 2 Ankies and a Giga today. A lot of them are just like, well, I guess I'm going to stick close. I'm going to maybe, gather some wood and some metal. Like, it's okay. That's needed. That's necessary. We need people like that in all the tribes.
I agree.
Do you have Didn't you tell me, or was this a past tribe or a current tribe, whatever, that you have like some pretty stressful requirements to not get kicked, or is this tribe pretty chill?
Yeah, so I mean, I was playing an unofficial before Survival Ascended came out, and even I was playing way back in the day that you had to like pretty much do an application to join a tribe. So pretty crazy to me. But and then one time I got kicked out for going to a funeral. That's crazy.
Good lord. That's absolutely wild.
Um, but yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of different expectations for tribes and different things. Like, I tried to join my buddy before the official servers came out, and he goes, "Man, I can't let you in," even though, like, he's my friend from school. He goes, "Sorry, my tribe won't let you in, because they don't know who you are, and you'll have to wait until the servers and stuff open up to see if maybe you can join us or not." And I said, "I'm not even doing that. Who cares, man? This is a game."
I get that though, because like insiders are, first off, if you have insided somebody in the past or plan to inside somebody in the future, you're a doo doo head and you suck. But insiding is a real thing, man. I've been insided 3 times, and I like vividly remember all 3 times as like a quote unquote traumatic event. But it's for real. So like I'm at that point too. There was somebody on our server. This person was like begging somebody to take them in for a tribe, and everybody was just like, "Good luck," because you can't. No randoms, no new friends. Unless you're like a Discord friend, in which case we're here for you. Feel free to join our Discord, then you can join our tribe. But like if you're just a random person on our server that's like, "Can I come in?" No.
Yeah, and I do agree that insiding is absolutely terrible, and it sucks when it happens to you. But like a friend of a friend, come on now, you know what I'm saying? Like a guy in your tribe, like I'm friends with him in real life. Like, why can't you let me in?
That's true. If a person that I trust in the tribe is willing to vouch for them, then like sure. If you're gonna put your name on the line like that, like obviously I'm not gonna kick you out if they end up inciting us, but like if you're willing to vouch for them, that's good enough for me. So like I feel you on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. Well, so yeah, sorry, ADD moment there. I gotta rewind. Um, Official versus unofficial. I really think mods, number one. I think the availability of maps, because a lot of people think the island sucks and want other options. So Svartalfjörðarheim, whatever it is,
Yep.
I feel like is probably a draw for a lot of people that are not a fan of the island. And I think the gathering rates, breeding rates, taming rates, instant taming, like all of those settings that they can change, those are your obvious draws for unofficial. What is the draw in your opinion to official? Because I've got my opinion, but what is your opinion for why would somebody come into official? Why would that even be appealing when you can have mods and boosted rates?
Yeah, so honestly, really a lot of it I feel like is bragging rights to say I'm on an official server, I can do this. And for certain people also, some of these people make money off of selling dinosaur eggs. Like that's how, or they sell bases. They go and make bases and sell them. That's totally illegal, and I've never done that, to be honest. Literally, I've never done that. But I'm just saying that people do that. They buy bullets for money. Like people really can make money off this game for one. So that's why they play official. Even though you can also do that on unofficial. But
Right.
um, so you can do that. And then I just say a lot of bragging rights. Like, I'm on an official server. I'm on 1 times rates. You play on 15, man. You probably just suck at the game. So other than that, honestly, I what is the appeal, man? Like, what's your opinion?
So I didn't even think about real world trading because, like, I guess thankfully I'm so innocent that that didn't really even cross my mind until you brought it up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're right, that is a thing because there are websites, like, there's black markets for all sorts of games out there. And in RuneScape, they have a huge issue with real world trading. That's like a big thing that, all my in game friends talk about. We're all aware of. We all know the damage it does to the game economy. Ark doesn't really have a game economy. You know what I mean? There's
Yep.
not. I'm not going out and farming a boss 1,400 times to get a 1 in 200 drop that I'm going to try to sell to people that don't have the level to get there. Like, it's not something that you can farm repetitively. So the economy of the game doesn't really get impacted by it. So I don't think too much about real world trading.
Yep.
I think a close number two is probably the bragging rights. Yeah, because everybody, like you said, wants to be able to say, I'm on 1.5 times. Your little fibercraft server isn't crap, and your base doesn't count because it's all made out of fiber, even though it looks like stone. That is a close second. But I think, honestly, I think it's the camaraderie. If you're on an unofficial server, you are stuck with the same, 20 people, whatever the slots are that the person has bought. And a lot of those people aren't going to stick around. People get bored on unofficial servers. It's too easy. They get bored, they quit playing, their base decays. Somebody else comes in for 2 days, asks for a starter pack, and then quits and never comes back. Like, unofficial is impossible to make long term friends in most cases. Whereas official servers, I mean, the very first day or two, I'm seeing the exact same people talking in the chat, in the global chat. I'm seeing the exact same people interacting with each other, giving away dinos, trading with each other. Like, people are making these friendships that they're going to be able to take into boss fights, take to other servers, team up together when the center comes out, when Scorched Earth comes out. Like, these are all long-term productive things that are actually going to matter and make the game more fun. Unofficial doesn't have that.
Yeah, honestly, that is very true. I didn't even think about that.
So I mean, that's honestly the only reason that I'm playing official is because I want to be able to a, hang out with the boys and have some fun and you know, enjoy the game like we used to in 2018. And then the other reason is for trading. And I can't really trade with people on unofficial servers. Like I said, I'm locked to that server, I'm locked to that cluster. There's not many options. Whereas on an official server, I can just open up Facebook and be like, holy crap, look at this rainbow Therizino, look at this Rastafarian Argent. I am going to give you 5,000 ingots. Can I please have an egg?
Yeah, that is true. There's multiple other servers to go on other than just a one server with a cap.
Yeah, and you can always, like, if my server sucks today, I can always, like, it's a real possibility for me for conversation to hop over to, I'm going to make up a number, to the island 122, and I can build a little base on a metal spawn there, and like I can do my thing. I can transfer back over items and stuff one day. Like, it's not something I'm going to stress about or even think about right now, but it gives you the opportunity to spread out and have multiple bases on multiple servers for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, gosh, for different reasons, both of them are the way to go. Official is the way to go if you're trying to enjoy the game as intended, and unofficial is definitely the way to go if you're on a real time crunch or if you're just here to experiment. Like, if you want to build things and you want to build a scale model of Disney World, more power to you, man. But you should probably do that in unofficial.
Yeah. Honestly, overall, Matt's kind of said it all here, but overall, you got, official is really grindy, more grinding. You have to spend more time on it most of the time. And unofficial is a lot less grinding. There's mods involved. Like, overall, when we talk about it, unofficial sounds really better. But I mean, it just kind of depends on what your preference is. Like, I enjoy official. But honestly, I see why people play unofficial, and I would play for fun on an unofficial. If you had to pick though right now, Matt, I know we're unofficial, but like at this moment in time, would you continue with official or would you choose unofficial?
I'm on a real dopamine rush right now for official. It's a slog and it's tough, but we're breaking out of that early game into the mid game to the point where it doesn't suck as bad. You know what I mean? And because it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't suck as bad, I think official is the way to go just for the bragging rights and the trading capabilities. But QC Survivor, I think, was setting up an unofficial server at one point, and I'm trying to get a whole bunch of people either in the Discord or just, people that are listening to this podcast to come in because that's where we're going to do events and stuff. You know what I mean? I would like to do jousting tournaments. I would like to do races, like all these different crazy things we can do on unofficial servers. That would be so fun. Hunger Games, like different events that we can get the community involved in. And I think that unofficial is obviously the way to go for that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think that overall, if I had to choose at this moment, I would still also, just for the bragging rights purpose, I would choose official. One, because I think it's just fun to play on official. But two, I do think I'm going to get potentially a little bored because you won't be able to transfer for a little bit off of official servers. They're waiting like 2-3 months or whatever it is.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to get bored and I might play some on officials. Hopefully, maybe we get a server up, have some fun, like you said, do all those events that you just said. So right now, I'm also leaning towards official, but I totally understand unofficial.
Absolutely. The opportunity for tomfoolery is very promising, and I enjoy that. So either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. I have loved the game. I give it an overall rating, taking lag, taking FPS drops, taking all of the negative things that people are pointing out into consideration. I still give this game probably a 92 out of 100. What about you?
Wow. So of course, I've had a different experience with graphics and a bunch of different things like that. I would say that I would give this game on the Series S, give it a 70. I'd give it a C.
I'll see. Oof. Is it just because of the graphics and the drops and stuff we talked about, or is it just like all around just not an enjoyable experience because of the S?
I would say it's not that enjoyable of an experience because of the S, because of how hyped I was for this game. I was beyond hyped, and just my expectations for everything were not met through the Series S. So I think they might be met through the X if I was to ever get one, but I'd say my expectations are not met for the S, and I'm hoping that they can improve that later on.
Yeah, one of these days when you're in the area, you'll have to swing through my house and play on the Series X and see if when you have a controller in your hand and you're sitting here, if it's more enjoyable for you. Because I really think that that number would change if you had you've got the good monitor. You just got to get the good high quality Xbox to go with it, and then it's going to be a whole different experience.
Yeah, I agree, and that's one thing I'm looking forward to. Maybe who knows? Maybe someone give me some money. I don't know.
Hey, you never know. The holidays are coming around the corner, so maybe you'll be able to be a good boy, and Santa will bring you something nice.
Hey, I'm hoping Santa, you know what to do, wild card.
Yeah, pop a wild card. We promise we'll play Ark and we'll make videos for you.
Yes, we
Send us
will.
hardware. All right. Jeez. I think that pretty much wraps up most of what I've got. I do want to circle back here. I did not. Last week, we got, caught up having so much fun that we forgot to address some of these community questions. And we had some older answers, like older episodes received new answers. And thank you very much to those of you that went back and answered those questions. I have pinned your responses. Last week, our question was about Aaron Aztec and what 100-day video he should do next, just trying to help sort of keep some ideas flowing for his channel for him. But we didn't get any responses, and that's okay. Doesn't, not a bad thing. It's just I don't have anything to report for that. So going back to the week before that, what platforms do you play on? Have you always played that platform, or did you switch recently? We had an answer. We had Josh C on Spotify. Thank you very much for answering. He said, I originally played on console when Ark first released. After a couple years on Xbox, I purchased a PC so I could play modded servers with some buddies, and now have 8K plus hours on PC. Love the
Oh,
podcast, guys.
wow. Man, great feedback. 8K hours. You're a savage, man.
Yeah, first off, thanks for the love and appreciation, man. We appreciate you for listening. Thanks for being here, especially 8K hours. Whew, we got a careful. We got a hero in the room, guys. We got a veteran here. We got to make sure we're giving him the respect he deserves. That's a long time, dude.
Yeah, that's absurd.
I would like to, man, Josh, join our Discord so I can pick your brain, man, because we sure have some questions. 8K hours. I bet you have some great stories to tell.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Jericho, do you have a question for this week, or should we go to Old Faithful?
So I think the question for this week: how are you guys enjoying ASA? Matt and I had our ratings for it. Let us know what systems you guys play on, like it was a couple weeks ago. But let us know what your overall rating is. I want to know if everyone has the same rating. Like Matt rated it higher because he had the Series X, and I have the Series S, and I rated it a little lower. But are people not having this experience with the Series S? Am I the only one? Let us know.
I love that question. It's fantastic. Yeah, I really am curious to hear everybody's ratings because the Discord is truly, truly mixed. Some of us, I've had some people say that they uninstalled the game and went back to Survival Evolved because it was, laggy, low FPS, unplayable trash. Some people came to the defense of saying, that very well might be your hardware, and like, let's take a look at your hardware, see if we can boost some of that in some places. And other people are just like, heck yeah, man, there's stuff to fix. So, like Aaron Aztec said, if you want a perfect polished game, come back in 6 months, and I bet it's going to be fantastic. But for right now, I think it's a great game, and I would love to hear your guys' opinions. Maybe I'm biased.
Yeah, and overall, that we want to hear those opinions. Drop that in the Discord or even on Spotify. Just drop it, wherever you're listening from. Also, just so everyone knows, you now have at least 2 episodes at this moment, probably 4 potentially here soon, that will be dropped on YouTube. So I have some gameplay for you guys, the ones that need some visual in the background, so you guys don't just have to listen to it. If you guys want to do that, go to Stranded Survivors on YouTube. It should be pretty easy to look up. It's right on there. We'd love for you guys to watch and listen over there.
Yeah, for sure. As always, the links are in the description below. Feel free to jump into our Discord, because the more the merrier. We're trying to build a community there of like-minded Ark individuals. So if you guys could jump on in there, we would love to chat with you. I'm sure you'll get bombarded with welcomes and stuff once you get in there. It's a really cool community. We're trying to keep it as active as physically possible. So anything that you guys want to say or show us for your Ark experience, I'm sure there's a thread for it. And if not, I'll gladly create one. And if you want to join the official PVE Stranded Survivors tribe, let us know, man. We got a looking for tribe post in there, and we are still recruiting. We currently have 5, like I said, and the more the merrier. We're looking for good people. So jump on in. Let me know what's up. And aside from that, if you made it this far into the episode, you're a legend. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Remember, PvPers, stand strong, kill all the beach bops. PvE, have a fun time, guys.
Yeah, remember to smell the rare flowers on your way by, PvE players. All right, folks, have a great night. See ya.
Goodbye.